Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Thanks for joining us as we dive into today's top stories. Romano drops a transfer update that Arsenal fans will love. During the summer transfer window, there was significant interest surrounding Arsenal defender Gabriel, and Fabrizio Romano has recently provided an update on his future and whether a departure was close. As Arsenal made notable signings to bolster their squad in their quest to contend for the title, some players were let go to generate funds, including Folarin Balogun. Gabriel's name emerged in transfer discussions, and his limited involvement at the start of the season raised questions about his potential departure. Ultimately, he remained at the club, a decision that appears to be in Arsenal's best interest. Given the considerable interest in the defender, many may wonder if he will still be a target in the upcoming transfer window. This update is likely to delight Arsenal fans as it affirms the retention of a key player without any detrimental effects from the interest. Fabrizio Romano shared the latest on Gabriel via Twitter or X, stating, Arsenal never wanted to sell Gabriel Magalhaes this summer, never a concrete option, despite interest from Saudi, not even a negotiation between clubs, not even for 200 million euros. This statement comes from sources close to the negotiations, debunking any notions of a potential Gabriel Saudi deal. The fact that Arsenal was unwilling to entertain offers as substantial as 200 million euro underscores Gabriel's status as a crucial asset. It also aligns with the timeline of late interest from other clubs in the transfer window, making it challenging for Arsenal to find a suitable replacement. It appears that Gabriel is set to remain an Arsenal player for the foreseeable future. This development is highly positive considering how much he has improved and thrived under the guidance of Mikel Arteta, earning recognition as a fantastic player. Arsenal man tipped to play for Barcelona. Jakub Kiwior is currently in the process of establishing himself as a regular player at Arsenal. The Poland international, who joined the club in January after an impressive showing in the last World Cup in Qatar, is in the midst of his development journey in London. Kiwior's versatility, including his ability to play as a fullback, has earned him playing time this season. While he may not have secured a permanent spot as a first-choice player at the Emirates just yet, former teammates and football observers are already envisioning a future at Barcelona for him. This suggests that Kiwior's potential and talent have caught the eye of some in the footballing world. Arsenal fans hold high hopes for Kiwior's future, and if he continues to progress and make strides in his career, he could become a more prominent figure for the club. Nevertheless, the possibility of a dream move to Barcelona or other top clubs is always within reach for promising young talents in the footballing sphere. Former youth teammates Matthias Slang and Nicolas discussed Kiwior's potential success at Barcelona on Sport TVP, stating, There is a deficit in the defense line. I think he will be there in a few years and he will prove himself there. Kiwior is undoubtedly a rising star, highly regarded in his homeland, which makes it understandable why they believe he could be part of Barcelona's roster in the future. However, it's crucial for Arsenal to retain players like Kiwior unless a significant transfer offer arrives or he faces difficulties in furthering his development. Keeping young talents with great potential can be instrumental in building a strong and competitive squad for the future. Fabio Vieira delivers one word response when asked what he thinks of Arsenal. Fabio Vieira was answering some questions for the Arsenal media team, and fans will love to hear how summed up the club. Arsenal have picked up 3 wins and 1 draw this season, despite not being at their highest levels that we know they can reach. One player who you cannot fault so far this season is Vieira. He has not started this season, but he has featured and created a big impact as he has picked up 2 assists in 2 games. The player was quizzed and asked 21 questions, and one of them saw He shared how he felt about the club he plays at. Vieira arrived at the club in the summer of 2021, and although he struggled last season, in his cameos this season, he looks like he is at a much higher level. The £34 million player looks an exciting talent. The midfielder had to answer the 21 questions quickly, and the player left his best answer for the last question that he was asked. The video, which was posted by Arsenal on social media, saw the player asked, "If you could describe Arsenal in one word, what would it be?" Vieira responded quickly and without hesitation as he answered with one word, "Amazing." This is exactly what fans will love to hear. The player has clearly already somewhat fallen in love with the club since joining. With Vieira only 23 years old, he clearly has a lot of growth left in him. If he can reach the high ceiling that it looks like he has, then Arsenal and Mikel Arteta have a frightening player on their hands. Pundit says Arsenal have a 24-year-old player who is one of the world's best now. It's been a while since Arsenal could claim to have a player considered among the best in the world. Following a period of relative success drought at the Emirates, top-tier talents haven't frequented North London as often as in the past. Alexis Sanchez is often cited as the last truly world-class player to grace Arsenal's ranks, but perceptions have evolved since last season. Notably, both Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard have earned Ballon d'Or nominations, while according to Adrian Clark, who shared his thoughts on Talksport 2, Declan Rice is also among the best in the world in his position. Clark expressed his opinion on the 24-year-old, stating, "Yes, I do agree. I believe that Rice and Bellingham are among the world best in their respective positions. It's as straightforward as that. Declan Rice is exceptional, as is Jude Bellingham. He is making waves at Real Madrid. It's just remarkable. That midfield duo is something special." While it might be a bit premature to label Rice as one of the best midfielders in the world before he's even played in the Champions League, there is no denying that he is on an upward trajectory. Rice has made a promising start at Arsenal, and if he continues to develop in the coming months, he could very well establish himself as one of the superstars of world football while representing one of England's most prominent clubs. Rice possesses undeniable talent, and there is genuine excitement about what he can achieve in the long term at Arsenal. Pundit says 24-year-old Arsenal player already looks to be washed up. Kai Havertz's career has certainly taken some unexpected turns. In his teenage years, he was setting the Bundesliga ablaze as one of the most promising attacking talents in Europe. However, after his move to England, his trajectory has been rather disappointing for the German player. Despite scoring the winning goal in a Champions League final for Chelsea, it's challenging to find many fans who would argue that Havertz performed consistently well at Stamford Bridge. Regrettably, it appears that he is following a similar path at Arsenal. Craig Burley shared his thoughts on Havertz during an ESPN discussion, suggesting that the 24-year-old may have already suffered considerable setbacks in his career. Burley indicated that Havertz seems to have accumulated a lot of emotional baggage from his underwhelming stunts at Chelsea and Arsenal, and the player we once witnessed thriving at Bayer Leverkusen is seemingly a distant memory. Burley gave his assessment of the 24-year-old, stating, "I am at a loss for words when it comes to this young man. He undeniably possesses talent. I watched him shine at Leverkusen, but unfortunately, that seems to be a bygone era. He carries the scars from his time at Chelsea, and there are already signs of scars from his early performances at Arsenal. People keep mentioning time, but how do you buy time when results are slipping and a team like Man City is surging ahead?" While it might sound peculiar to suggest this about a 24-year-old, Havertz may indeed be past his peak. In the world of football, we have witnessed instances where players peaked at a young age and were never able to reach those heights again. Names like Michael Owen Alexander Pato and Robbie Fowler come to mind as examples of players who hit their zenith early and couldn't recapture that form. Havertz could potentially be on a similar trajectory. Of course, one can hope that Havertz's best days are still ahead of him, but based on his performances in recent years, it's becoming increasingly difficult to imagine him returning to the levels he showcased during his Bundesliga days. Arsenal have a £25 million talent who is one of the rarest commodities in football. Arsenal's loaned out talent Kieran Tierney delivered an impressive performance, moving Scotland one step closer to Euro 2024. Although Tierney is currently away from N5, both Mikel Arteta, Edu, and the Arsenal fan base are undoubtedly keeping a watchful eye on his progress. Tierney's star is shining brightly on the international stage, with his recent performance significantly contributing to Scotland's chances of reaching next summer's tournament finals. Scotland could potentially secure their qualification without even applying a qualifier on Tuesday night if Norway and Georgia draw in their also match, and Scotland, who play England in a friendly that night, can benefit from this scenario. Tierney's performance earned him widespread acclaim from Scottish media outlets that assessed the players after the game. Glasgow Live, for instance, praised the Arsenal man, rating him 7 out of 10 and stated, "Another composed performance by the Arsenal man. He provides a reliable outlet when building up from the back, and a left footed centre back is indeed a rare commodity in football. He was hardly troubled." Glasgow Board echoed a similar sentiment, also awarding Tierney a 7 out of 10 and commented, "A composed and steady display from the Real Sociedad loanee. He offers a valuable option when initiating a play from the defensive line, despite picking up a knock in the closing stages. He soldiered on and faced minimal challenges." Kieran Tierney joined Arsenal for £25 million from Celtic in 2019 and became an indispensable figure during his time at the Emirates. He made 124 appearances for Arsenal and scored 5 goals. However, in the previous season, he started just 6 Premier League games as Arsenal finished as runners-up to Manchester City. In the current season, Tierney didn't feature in the Gunners' squad for their first 3 Premier League matches. Consequently, the Arsenal defender embarked on a loan move to Real Sociedad for the season, with no option or obligation to buy. Whether Tierney will return to play for Arsenal remains uncertain, but this loan spell could potentially serve as an opportunity for him to showcase his abilities and attract potential suitors. Arsenal is scouting 18-year-old Lycan Mbappe, who is a full international already. Arsenal has reportedly turned their attention to an exciting young forward who has already made quite a name for himself in the football world. According to 90 Minute, the Gunners are one of the clubs closely monitoring Antonio Nusa, who currently plays for Club Brugge and hails from Norway. Joining Arsenal in the pursuit of this 18-year-old talent are Liverpool and Newcastle. During the recent transfer window, Chelsea made an unsuccessful attempt to secure Nusa with a £25.7 million bid, indicating his growing reputation in the football market. Arsenal is likely keeping a close eye on Nusa's performance, especially after his international debut for Norway, which took place last Thursday. Nusa started on the left side of the attack, contributing significantly to Norway's 6-0 victory over Jordan in a friendly match. Norwegian outlet Nettavisen showered praise on the reported Arsenal target, describing his performance as follows. "The player with the highest expectations before the match, and the 18-year-old lived up to the hype. He fearlessly dazzled in his national team debut, causing nightmares for Jordan's right back, Ahsan Haddad, right from the start. Nusa was the driving force behind most of Norway's attack in the first half, displaying exceptional close-range technique, blistering speed, and finishing ability. His fantastic performance led to Norway's opening goal and also saw him provide an assist for Strand Larsen, Although his influence waned slightly when he moved to the right in the second half, it was still a remarkable debut for the club bridge player, making him a strong candidate for a starting spot against Georgia. Football Talent Scout even compared Nusa to the likes of Kylian Mbappe last year, giving him a potential rating of 9.5 out of 10. It's certainly encouraging to hear that Arsenal is considering Nusa, but given his growing reputation, top clubs from around the world are likely to be in the race for his signature. Arsenal turns their attention to the latest Brighton star. Arsenal has expressed keen interest in Ivan Ferguson, the emerging star from Brighton, who has been making waves this season. The young talent showcased his skills brilliantly by netting a hat-trick in Brighton's recent game, drawing attention from various quarters. This isn't the first time Arsenal has set their sights on a Brighton gem, and it seems they are closely monitoring Ferguson's progress. However, they face stiff competition, with several other clubs also vying for the talented youngster's signature, as reported by Iron News. The race to secure Ferguson's services is expected to be highly competitive, meaning Arsenal, along with other suitors, will need to keep a close watch on his development and make a convincing case to bring him on board in the future. Ferguson has displayed exceptional potential on the field, particularly in his defensive prowess, indicating he has the makings of a top tier player. In the not so distant future, he could be donning the colors of a major club, and Arsenal is wisely positioning themselves to potentially add him to their roster. For now, it's essential for Arsenal to concentrate on their exciting squad while allowing their scouts to keep an eye on Ferguson's growth. It's worth noting that Brighton isn't known for selling their talents cheaply, so Arsenal should be prepared to make a substantial offer if they intend to secure his services. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.